Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to part 2 of July's Deck Strength versus Weakness series. Remember, our deck of the month is the Tarot of Oneness. It has a strength of connections and self-care with a weakness of shadow work. And today I'm going to show you perfect pairs, more specifically tarot. So tarot decks, both indie and mass market, because I want to be a little bit more balanced, that will work for you. I'm going to be showing you about 11 decks, but I have like 17, 18 in my collection that will actually work. I will list the full list in the description box down below, as well as part 1 that covers our deck of the month in case you missed it. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and get started. So the first deck we are pairing is the Golden Journey. Believe it or not, these two get along. They are completely different art styles. The Golden Journey is an AI deck, but these two are okay with each other. So if you're wanting something to pair with the Golden Journey, if you have it in your collection, give it a try. The Golden Journey also has additional cards the same way that our deck of the month, the Tarot of Oneness, does. So that is fabulous. And I apologize, I will be going very fast. I will show you a couple cards from each deck before we move on, just for time limits. And yes, I will be doing all the indie decks first. This is the Fantasy Garden Tarot by Dmitro Rizak. He did the Bloody Tears Tarot, so this deck is all colored ink pen. I love this Temperance card. It's pretty. And this is actually a pip deck, which you can start to see here. Now, I have found another pip deck that does not pair with the Tarot of Oneness, so that is not a catch-all phrase that it will pair with every pip deck. This one just happens to fit the bill. And I reminded you at the beginning of the video that the Tarot of Oneness has a weakness of shadow work. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, that means I can't use the shadow work deck with the Tarot of Oneness. Wrong. I found one. This is the Baroque Tarot, which is a Kickstarter deck as well. And for those of you that have been on my channel a while, you're familiar with this deck because I've used it quite a lot. This is a shadow deck that can actually manage to pair with the Tarot of Oneness. And it's the only one so far that I'm aware of completely in my collection that will pair with it. Because my other known shadow decks that I know that have shadow work as the strength do not really pair with the Tarot of Oneness. So are you able to pair it with a shadow deck even though that's the weakness of the deck? Yes, but you are severely limited on what that is. And as you can see, they have two different aesthetics between the two. One's bright and cheery and one is very muted. Alright, and next I'm going to show you an indie deck that is now mass market, but it started out as an indie deck, so I included it in the indie deck, and that is the Seer Tarot. This is actually my air element, so ideas and connection, truth, but mostly ideas and creativity. This is my creativity deck. So to pair it with a deck that has connections, that shows connections, that makes this a powerhouse combination when it comes to finding and locating and utilizing bright ideas or working on creative projects. This is a very fun pairing to utilize. And I realize I have a glare on that card, I do believe. So sorry. So this is a very nice, happy pair to put together and utilize when you need it. All right, and our last indie deck that I'm going to be showing you is the Out of Hand Tarot by Jamie Sawyer. This is actually a modern deck with a completely different art style, but in my collection, the Out of Hand Tarot is, the Out of Hand Tarot is a career deck. So connections and career is what these two do together. Also, you know, as kind of a subdivision, connections when it comes to money, because this particular deck, for me personally, shows me where I'm spending my money or not spending my money or overspending my money. Making wise financial decisions is what this deck does for me. So, just like when I go on Kickstarter, I try not to grab the Out of Hand Tarot to ask questions of, should I back this? Because it'll tell me no. Yes, that's avoidance and denial. I am well aware of it. But having this to be able to pair together, I think is great. Especially when it comes to career readings or financial readings, when my ancestors call for the Out of Hand Tarot or the Tarot of Oneness. It'd be a fantastic powerhouse in that area. All right, we're going to move right along to mass market decks. The next one we're going to tackle is the Tarot at the End of the Rainbow. So this is a low-scale Baroque deck. It does have creatures in it, fae energy. It has goblins and orcs and leprechauns. This is my spring deck, by the way. And the Tarot of Oneness feels like summer. It's a summery deck. So these two get along really well. For the most part, as near as I can tell, the Tarot of Oneness handles fae energy, because I only have 2 fae decks, really well. So if you have more than what I'm going to show you for decks that have fae energy, try pairing it with the Tarot of Oneness, see what happens. Let me know what else works and what doesn't, since I am limited in that area. But for the most part, these 2 seasons that are represented in these decks get along famously. I also have a deck in my collection that feels like autumn to me. I will not show you that deck. It will be in the description box down below. It also pairs really well with the Tarot of Oneness. So yeah, just stay away from wintry decks probably. If it feels like winter, chances are it's probably not going to pair. All right, and our next deck is the Soul Cats Tarot. All right, different artwork, theme deck, but given the strength of the Tarot of Oneness and then the strength of the Soul Cats Tarot, which is manifestation and energy work. Soul Cats Tarot is one of those decks that will tell me where the energy is or isn't, or where it's going. So to put that in with a deck that means connections is fantastic. So if you're wanting to manifest something and it's not working, pairing these 2 decks together will help you make the right connections to get it to work. So that is fabulous, even though aesthetically it doesn't really match. Remember, all of my pairings are based on the energy of the decks, not the aesthetics. And our next mass market deck we are pairing, that is a perfect pair, is the Tarot of Dragons. Yes, another theme deck. But this deck has a strength of dreams. So connections of dreams. What do you hope for the future? I mean, what is your ultimate goal? What do you dream of doing in any endeavor? And the connections on how to get there, or the connections maybe you're not paying the greatest of care to, that you need to nurture better. That's what these 2 decks do together. And I like that for a combo, because that lends more into the powerhouse energy. If you've got a very specific thing that you're wanting, it'll let you know pretty quickly where you need to go. And our next mass market is the Mermaid Tarot. Yes, another themed deck. So sorry about that. But this is also a deck that tells me where the energy is or isn't. It is energy manipulation. So, just like with the Soul Cats Tarot, this is another deck that when paired with the Tarot of Oneness, functions very well. Huh! And I just noticed that's the Eight of Wands and the Chariot. They're both movement cards. Sorry, cheap amusement. And we're going to move right along. And the next deck I'm going to show you is the other deck I have that contains Fae energy. And that is the Crystal Visions Tarot. Most of us are familiar with this particular... Oh, and I included the title card. I don't need the title card. Most of us are fairly familiar with this deck. It's been out for forever. It's newer to my collection. But it does contain Fae energy. And yes, it does get along with the Tarot of Oneness. And of course, when you say Fae energy, I think summer. And of course, this is a summer energy deck. And it pairs really well. They get along. Even though art style is not close to one another, it works. Alright, and I have one more deck that I'm going to be showing you. And in fact, you saw this deck in part 1, and that was the Divine Tarot of the Unicorn. Now, both of these decks have the strength of connections, and they get along really well. So if you want to kind of boost the power of the Tarot of Oneness and get like a deeper layer of connection, or if there's something you can't quite grasp with the Tarot of Oneness, the Divine Tarot of the Unicorns can help you retrieve the rest, because they play into the same strength. Might have a little bit different approach, different aesthetics, etc. Divine Tarot of the Unicorn is more really strictly RWS, whereas the Tarot of Oneness may have the symbology, but it takes more creative license, plus it has additional cards. So if you need to suss out more information, this would be a good deck to do that with. Alright, my lovelies, we've already blown through, what, 11 decks? And I've got another, like, 6 decks for you that you can pair with the Tarot of Oneness. Please read the description box down below for the rest of those. I will be airing part 2, which is our Perfect Pairs Oracle Edition, tomorrow. And then I will start getting into the anti-pairs. If you missed the part 1 of July's Deck of the Month, the Tarot of Oneness, it will also be in the description box down below. And if you've never seen a full flip through of the Tarot of Oneness, hopefully I've remembered to link it in the description box down below, because I did do a video over that. Alright, my lovelies, do you have any of these decks? Have you tried them out? Do they pair well for you with the Tarot of Oneness? Why or why not? And if you find any more, by all means, please notify me in the comments section down below. I would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.